What we're going to be talking about today is what I like to call nutritional pillars for success that can make nutritional systems very easy for yourself to keep linear progress moving forward very easily. So if we move away from macronutrients, okay, we can kind of go in this layer of water and fiber intake, okay? What I like to recommend for a minimum daily water intake is taking your body weight and dividing it by about 2.2, okay? And this is based off on some research that's been done with participants that showed that this is what was required to maintain hydration, okay? And when we are hydrated, okay, it makes it easier to digest our food. It makes it easier to get through our daily life, like workouts, okay, keeping things like migraines and headaches away, okay? But you need to stay hydrated for, heavy training as well, but also keeping the body functioning the right way. So it's very important for all your organs to function as well, okay? So another good recommendation you could do with water is, right when you wake up, drink like 12 ounces right away, okay? Start your day off right, okay? Or have something like a water bottle with you throughout the day. That's something like Genie has there, or something like a shaker cup, or something just like a refillable water that shows the ounces on it so you can keep track of that, okay? Optimal, what we typically recommend, now this is not for everybody, this is not for like a young child, this is not for somebody who doesn't weigh as much, okay, and, smaller stature. Optimal for most people is probably like a gallon of water a day, okay? However, that's not for everyone, okay? So if you use that equation at the top, that can give you like a baseline level where to try to have your water intake around. It's not to say you got to hit that all the time, but try to be ballpark and be mindful of drinking enough water. Okay. And then the second thing being fiber intake. Okay, so I kind of touched on that with your carbohydrate sources, but we're making those food selections, right? So we want to have higher fiber intake because we're making those food selections, like eating more vegetables, more fruits, more whole food starchy sources. Well, we're getting a lot higher quality calories in, and we're not having such an effect on our blood sugar levels and our insulin levels that's going to aid to storing more fat, okay? We're actually helping maintain those things and keep them low, and also aid in digestion and absorption of nutrients too from our foods, okay? So if I move away from water and fiber intake, you can go into meal timing, okay? So meal timing is very important to an extent, but it's not the one-all be-all. So you guys might have heard like, oh, you gotta intake your food after a workout, or you gotta drink your protein shake within 15 minutes or you're duped, okay? That's kind of like a myth in its own. The truth is that right around the time that you're working out, you have an optimal hormone profile, okay? I won't get into specifics there. You can ask me afterwards if you want to know, okay? You have an optimal hormone profile to absorb nutrients in a better fashion than from a weighted workout. So let's say I have a protein shake, okay? The sooner that I drink that, okay, let's say I drink it at 5 hours in comparison to an hour, okay? I'm going to much more benefit out of it at the hour range versus the 8 hour range, okay? Just like your window kind of closes as you go on, okay? Because your hormone profile is going to change there, okay? But it's not the one-all be-all. It's also not something that you need to worry about when we're thinking about meals that, oh, I have to eat every 2 hours, okay? Or I have to eat this then, okay? It's not really like that. Just be mindful, like when we put in your meal formula together for the challenge, we're being mindful of different things like, let's have some protein every few hours when we're eating, okay, because we need it. Let's have some good high quality vegetable or fruit sources, well, because we need fiber intake, right? And we need high level minerals and vitamins and other nutrients to get from that. And we need to stay hydrated from water, right? And we need healthy fat sources. So we have all that listed out for you for a reason, okay? However, any way that you can picture yourself being consistent with maintaining your caloric intake and maintain your macronutrient intake is important for you to fit it to what your schedule allows you and what your lifestyle allows you to do and what's going to make you happy, okay? So it's not to say something like you got to stress over, I got to package this with me because I'm going to be running the kids to here and you know, I need to eat while I'm standing on one foot and work in the cross guard or recess or something like that, okay? You know, it'll be there, just make sure you maintain that throughout the day. So the end of the day is really the big picture there, okay? So it's not as big of a thing to really be truly worried about. Lastly, supplements, okay? Supplements, you know, everybody's looking for a magic pill, right? But taking 3,000 milligrams of Spark X 3000 or something random, okay, while drinking wine and cookies and pizza every day, like, it's still not going to help you, okay? The supplementation is never going to outweigh the diet itself or the food intake itself, okay? They're there for a reason. They're there to help you supplement your diet and what you're not getting in your day and to make things easier, okay? So if we're talking about things like macronutrient intake and getting enough protein, well, something like a protein shake or protein powder can help you recover after your workouts, can help get you back to baseline of intaking enough protein throughout the day. Something, say, you know, you're missing 20 grams. Well, that's something that you could do right there. But it's also going to be helpful for your training too, because you're going to be kickstarting that recovery process right away, okay? Or something like fish oil. Like, not everybody eats a lot of fish during the week, right? And it's very hard to find high quality fish sources nowadays, okay? With all the contamination and pollution we got going on, you got to be mindful of, well, where are you buying the fish from, okay? Or there's a lot of fish that aren't very high in omega-3 fatty acids. They just don't really contain them all that much, okay? So something like a fish oil supplement that's high quality, okay, can help us with that, okay? Or something, same thing along the lines of probiotics, right? If we're not getting enough variety of different foods like, you know, sauerkraut, or, which I know is not everybody's favorite, okay? Things like Greek yogurt, different types of Greek yogurt are going to contain different strands of different probiotics and different cultures, okay? Things like cottage cheese, the same type of thing, okay? And many other foods, you know, something like a high quality probiotic supplement can be something that can keep our bacteria in our gut in check and in good health too. But it's something that can be used for a supplement as well. Say, you know, we go on antibiotics for something, like we live in the north, like colds and viruses and bacteria, you know, infections are very common, right? I'm sure everybody here was sick at some point this winter, right? Okay, if we get put on something like an antibiotic, well, we need to still protect our bacteria in the gut, so something like a probiotic can weigh there, okay? It's there for a supplement, right? It's not there to outweigh the diet, so we always just gotta be mindful of that and making sure that it's not taking importance over anything else. The magic really happens with all this is your grocery store trips, okay, and the refrigerator, and your surrounding environment in the home and the kitchen, okay? So like when you come in here at the gym, we're not having, hey, have an Oreo, or hey, nice squat, here's a bag of Doritos, okay? Like, you're not surrounded with those things, right? You come in the gym, you're surrounded with high energy people who are wanting to do their best, they're all wanting to get in shape. Like, you have this community goal, right? Okay? It's the same way outside of here. Your surroundings outside of here will dictate everything, okay? So you surround yourself with people that booze all the time and, you know, go to McDonald's and, you know, Burger King all the time. Well, most likely that's probably going to end up happening to you at some point, okay? Or if you're buying these foods and you have them surrounding you in your house, things like frozen pizzas, chips, you know, cookies, you know, you got, you know, alcohol or fruit juices or soda pop, you know, in the fridge, well, that's going to, you know, ultimately it's there, you're going to eventually eat it. So environment is everything. So our plan of what we can do is we can dictate that and we can change that through our grocery store trips, buying the right types of foods and having a set plan there, as well as keeping our environment free of those types of things, okay? So when we're going to the grocery store, number one is always have a shopping list, okay? You're making it up of the things that you need and you're leaving the store with that, okay? Otherwise, I think of it this way, like you're going to the store, you don't have a shopping list, okay? You're coming out with a black eye, 5 Oreos, a small child, a baby giraffe, and, you know, whatever else, okay? That is going to happen, okay? And then the whole store is going to be burnt down, okay? Go in with a list, get what you need and what you know you want, okay? And leave with it. Number 2, never shop hungry. Never shop hungry for the exact reason I just said. When you enter the grocery store, okay, the grocery store is set up in a way for what they're paid to display, okay? In the middle of the store, everything's nice and bright and shiny, right? Okay? Everything's very colorful. That's to attract you to those aisles. I promise you, there's nothing good in those aisles. There's very few that's good there, okay? So your goal is to enter where the produce is at in the store, wherever you shop, okay? Start with your produce, and then you make your way around the outside of the store. After the produce on the outside of the store, typically comes your protein. So your meats, okay? After the meats, typically comes like the dairy, okay? Things where you can get like your eggs, you can get your Greek yogurt, you can get your good healthy cottage cheeses, good healthy cheeses, things like that, okay? After that, as you wrap around, will most likely be like paper goods and stuff like that. But then as you come back to the center there, you're having all your stuff like packaged cereals, packaged snacks, sweets, frozen foods that are all packaged meals like, you know, TV dinners, frozen pizzas, things of that nature, okay? So the only things you should really ever be traveling to the center aisles for, okay, are things like, you know, rice, beans, you know, tuna. I'm sure everybody can kind of be mindful of that, okay? So that's kind of where to start in terms of, well, how am I going to get these initially? Well, you need the right foods first, okay? So that should always come first, okay? And then I'm just going to go through some tips for you guys' success. Number one is really, you know, keep it simple, guys. You know, you don't got to overthink this. You know what's bad for you. You know what's good for you, okay? You just got to have the will and determination, you know, the mindset, and just be mindful of these types of things, okay? Number two, especially during the challenge, is food prep, okay? The reason why fast food companies are so large and so successful is the factor of convenience, right? Okay? Convenience is key when we're talking about nutrition, because if it's there for you, you are 9 times out of 10 going to have it, okay? So if you have, you know, we have our Tupperware containers. We're food prepping on a day where we have the most time, okay? Some of you guys probably did it on Sunday a little bit, okay? You have Tupperware containers with your set meal formula, right? And you put your meal formula in that Tupperware container and you have it there ready for you, versus coming home from a long day at work and going, oh, I gotta cook something. I really don't want to cook. I'll just stop here and I'll grab a burger, or I'll grab a sandwich, or, you know, I'll just skip eating, okay? So convenience is a huge factor there in terms of determining, well, how successful are you going to be?